Hey guys, Bridget here. In this video we're going to create these two iOS app UI designs from scratch using Figma. Now this is part of an amazing UI kit which I found on UI8 that I'm going to leave in a link in the description. So if you're interested in seeing the entire project, feel free to check it out. But now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so we're back in Figma, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the frame, and then we're going to select the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But feel free to choose also other sizes if you're looking this video in the future. And we're going to double click on this name, and we're going to rename it to 1. All right, at this point, we're going to start creating the top level section. So we're going to use the rectangle tool right here, and we are going to create a rectangle which is going to be right in the middle. I'm going to center it using this tool right here. I'm going to also round up the borders just a little bit. At this point, we're going to select a green such as this one. And we're also going to make it linear so that we can create a nice little linear gradient just to make this element stand out a little bit more. And what we're going to do next is we're going to use Nucleo icons. Now, if you don't have Nucleo icons already, simply go on Google and search for Nucleo icons. You're going to find it right away. It's a free icon management software which enables you to find icons. And we're going to type in something such as a book. And I'm going to have a look and try to find something which is not too detailed, but not even without details at all. So something around these lines, maybe an outline could work well. Or actually, let's go for this one right here. And as you can see, by default, when you're dragging and dropping from Nucleo, a frame is going to be created. So what we're going to do is we're essentially going to unframe this, and the way you do it is using Shift Command G. As you can see now, it's just a group. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to use the scale tool, which is this one right here. We're going to scale it up just a bit, and we're going to make it white. So simply go under Fill, eyedropper tool, and white. All right, so pretty much good to go when it comes to this icon. Now let's start adding some more icons. So I'm going to go back on Nucleo, right in the arrow, scroll down, and I'm going to use this one right here. I also need a trash icon. So again, this iOS app is inspired by a UI design, which from an entire UI kit, which you can find on UI8. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in seeing the entire project, really. Now, again, let's bring this one here. And now what we're gonna do after we stabilize these two icons is we're essentially going to go ahead and create some order in this layout. The way that we're going to do it is by using a layout grid. So let's go over here. Let's add 2 columns. Since on mobile we don't really need many. And we're going to add a little bit of a margin so that we have some breathing room overall. Actually, let's make it 25. Let's make the layout grid a little bit lighter so that it doesn't interfere too much with the design, but still gives us that point of reference, really, in order to evaluate if we're moving in the right direction. All right, so I think this one is looking good. And now let's add some text. Now in this case, we're going to use Lato. Let's make it bold, and let's center it up. And let's make it just a touch smaller. All right. Now at this point, let's duplicate this. Let's write here today, 10:30 a.m. Let's make it even smaller. And let's give it a more grayish color. Probably let's opt for regular. Okay, so light gray, but not too light, so we still keep the legibility. Now let's go ahead and let's create some different elements. So we're gonna have the focus time. It's going to be 120 minutes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to group this, duplicate it using Shift, Option, Alt key, and dragging it, and then Command D in order to duplicate this. All right. I'm going to write in start time, 10:30 a.m. and then sessions, 8 times. All right, let's add a divider line in between. And let's have another one here. And maybe let's just select both and make them a little bit lighter. We don't really need all that much visual emphasis on these elements as they are. Okay, probably going to give it just 2 nudges and then use the distribute horizontal spacing so that it's all nice and clean. All right, perfect. At this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to go in and write productivity, and we're going to start creating the graph. Let's make it smaller. Bring it here. Let's make it 1 step smaller. Let's also bring these guys up. We can refine those in just a moment, but for the time being, just a quick adjustment could work well. Let's duplicate this just a few times. And I'm actually going to copy and paste the style using Option Command C and then Option Command V. All right. Now at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to start creating this this graph. And it's pretty much going to be a stylized one. And maybe actually let's make it go all the way to the top. And I think we have our base. Perfect. At this point, let's make it of a blue color, I would say. Let's add some other informations below. So I'm going to copy and paste this text. Let's make it 10:30 a.m. Scale it down, bring it over here, and I'm going to simply duplicate this a few times. Distribute horizontally. 11. And then let's do 11:30. And 12 p.m. Let's make this one 2.5. And I think this makes it for being all set and done. All right, So at this point, what we are missing is the bottom menu. So let's go ahead and create that. Let's make the oval, which is going to be quite big. Let's add a plus icon. All right, here we go. And let's scale it down just a little bit. All right, let's start adding some some time icons. So that's going to be the first one. We're going to have menu. Let's go with this one. Calendar. And we're going to select this one here. Let's put them all together. Or actually, we have a backup which is a little bit stronger in stroke. And then we're going to use the cog for the settings. All right, center this. Let's increase the size of these guys so that they're all working well together. And distribute horizontally. I'm going to make them this gray color. And what we're gonna do next is actually going to select these, create a let's distance them, let's make them a little bit bigger in size, and let's bring them all the way here. And let's center them right here. All right, so let's notch it. Let's notch it just one touch. Let's make these with a bit of a gray tending towards a blue. All right, so pretty much good to go. One more thing, we need the top level menu, which we can get pretty much anywhere from any UI kit. A lot of free ones are going to have a top level menu. So, and if you don't have any UI kit at the moment, simply go under the home, community, UI kits. Just search for any mobile UI kit that you can then, duplicate, and you're going to have it right away. So you can simply copy and paste between documents. All right. So that would be the very first part. And now let's move on to the next screen. So we're going to duplicate it using Shift and Option key. And now let's delete this. Let's duplicate this over here. Let's write in history. And we are going to make this smaller. Bring it right here. We'll need these guys as well. Let's bring them up. And we'll just delete the rest. So let's make this smaller to 16. Let's bring this on the left. And here we go. Let's write in English lesson, education, (1 hour 30), and then 30 to 12. All right. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to create a rectangle, just going to span all the way across this element. Let's round it up. Let's change the color of the stroke to this one right here. Let's make it just a little bit bigger in height, so we have some breathing room for this element right here. Perfect. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to remove the vertical spacing between these lines. Maybe let's just adjust them before we copy this and duplicate it a few times. And we're going to do this one more time afterwards, but before we do that, what we're going to do here is to add a date. Just like that. Let's bring this one a little bit below, so we have some breathing room for the top section. And let's make this one a bit darker, maybe a bit smaller. And let's duplicate this one more time. Let's write in yesterday. And here we go. All right, design dashboard. Here we're going to write relax music, guitar lesson, riff lesson, and React lesson. All right, let's change up this data as well. Meditation, music, meditation again. This one's going to be development. And here we go. Change these ones as well. $145 and $345. And let's change these elements too. All right, now we only need to mix up these guys and we're ready to tackle the actual icons. Perfect. So at this point, what we're gonna do is, even before we touch the icons, is we're going to find some nice linear gradients, I guess, which are going to work well. Right, we're heading towards a more, so one trick is actually turning it into a solid, and then once you kind of find the hue for this one, you can turn it into a linear, so that at least you don't have to kind of like duplicate the same hue. It just makes it for an easier easier way to edit, you know, these colors all together. To make this one lighter, I'm probably going to change the color of that one in just a moment. Probably want something a bit lighter, just like that. And let's go with a bit of a different style for that one. Going to duplicate this, and for this one here, probably going to go with something more towards a red color. All right, now at this point we just needed the different icons really. So let's write in design. Going to add them over here first. Music. Let's use this one. Guitar. And here we go. Breathing. Yeah, looks about right. And development. This one will do. All right, center this. Let's unframe them, and what we're gonna do is we're going to give it a width similar to each other. Center them again, and then what we really need to do is to go one by one when it comes to these icons. Going to need to delete these. Let's select all of them. Let's make them white. Now I'm going to go individually, try to match the width, although even if it's not going to match exactly, that's fine, because some icons need to be curated differently, simply because they're smaller in size, they have different strokes, and you know, things like that really do matter. So definitely stuff to keep in mind. Like this one, I'm okay in being a little bit kind of like moving around a little bit more. So this one here, and this one here as well. All right, we have our basic. So yeah, we have our structure done, and yeah, really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're interested in learning more about UI UX design, my channel have over 500 videos sharing my over a decade of experience in this field. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in that, and I'll see you in the next video.